When you think about public health challenges, they can feel just huge, right? Overwhelming, almost impossible to solve. But what if we looked at them a different way? What if we treated them like puzzles? Today, we're going to break down how experts are piecing together solutions that literally save millions of lives.
It's easy to talk about health in these big, abstract terms. But how do we actually solve these life or death problems in the real world? We're going to go beyond the headlines and get into the nitty-gritty, the strategic thinking that actually makes a difference.
So, here's our plan for today. We're going to tackle three totally different puzzles. First, the air in our cities. Second, a choice families make every single day. And third, a hidden connection inside our own bodies. And then we'll tie it all together. Okay, let's dive into our first puzzle. I want you to imagine you're a public health official in Bangladesh. Your job? To tackle the massive problem of chronic respiratory diseases, things like asthma and COPD that affect the lungs long term. This is a huge, sprawling issue. So where on earth do you even start? Well, to understand the pressure you're under, just look at this number. The World Health Organization tells us that COPD alone, just one of these diseases, is responsible for over 3.2 million deaths around the world every single year. This isn't just some minor health issue, it's a full-blown crisis. Faced with a problem that big, you can't do everything at once. You have to be smart. You have to prioritize. And after looking at all the causes, two strategies really rise to the top of the list as the most powerful places to start: cleaning up the air and getting serious about tobacco control. So why these two specifically? Well, because they're game changers on a massive scale. Instead of just focusing on treating one person at a time, these strategies change the entire environment for everyone. Think about it. Policies that regulate pollution from factories or put higher taxes on cigarettes are incredibly cost-effective. They get right to the root of the problem and protect the whole population at once. It's all about making the healthy choice the default choice. Okay, so we've looked at the big citywide picture. For our second puzzle, let's zoom way in, right down to a single household. We're going to look at a super common problem that a mother in Dhaka faces every morning: what to pack in her kid's lunchbox. And this quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? For so many families, it all comes down to convenience and what seems affordable in the moment. Those processed snacks are everywhere, and they feel like the cheaper option, even if we know fresh fruit is healthier. So how do you solve a puzzle like that? The solution isn't as simple as just telling people, hey, eat better. It won't work. This requires a smart, two-pronged attack. You need the big guns, national policies, working together with direct, on-the-ground support for schools and families. And this is where you can see how those two levels just click together perfectly. At the national level, a food policy can bring in subsidies to make fresh fruit actually cheaper. It can make sure local seasonal fruits are always available. Then, at the school level, health programs can talk directly to parents, showing them how the cost of those daily processed snacks really adds up. They can give them ideas for healthy alternatives. It's a perfect marriage of high-level policy and real-world support. All right, for our final puzzle, we're going from policy and households deep inside the human body. During the COVID-19 pandemic, a really clear and dangerous pattern emerged. People with obesity were at a much, much higher risk of getting seriously ill. The puzzle is, why? What's the hidden biological link? Well, it turns out the answer is connected to the other health problems that often go along with obesity. We can basically break down the why into three key mechanisms: the impact of things like type 2 diabetes, the extra strain on the heart and blood vessels, and a direct physical problem with the lungs. First up, let's talk about the immune system. Conditions like type 2 diabetes, which are very closely linked to obesity, can weaken your body's defenses. It creates this background of chronic inflammation. So your immune system is already compromised before the virus even shows up, which makes it way harder to put up a good fight. Then you've got the heart. Obesity is often linked to cardiovascular issues like high blood pressure. That means the heart is already working in overdrive 24/7. Now imagine you throw a severe infection like COVID-19 on top of that, with fever, with breathlessness. That puts a huge and frankly dangerous amount of extra strain on a system that's already stressed to its limit. And finally, there's a really straightforward mechanical issue. Excess body weight can literally, physically press down on the chest and diaphragm. This restricts the lungs and makes it harder for them to fully expand and pull in air. So even before the virus starts doing its damage, your breathing is already at a disadvantage. So, we've looked at a city's air, a child's lunchbox, and how a virus attacks the body. 3 totally different puzzles, right? But believe it or not, they all point to the exact same fundamental truth, the real core of public health strategy. And this is it. This is the whole game. The most successful public health strategies are the ones that build a bridge between those big, high-level policies and the real-world choices that people make every single day. The ultimate goal is to make the healthy choice not just the right choice, but the easy, affordable, and accessible choice for every single person. Which really brings this all back home, doesn't it? This way of thinking, seeing these big challenges as puzzles with interconnected pieces, isn't just for experts. It's for all of us. So take a look around you. What are the hidden health puzzles in your community just waiting for someone to start piecing together a solution?